Hey everyone, Eugene Fedorovsky from EugeneFedorovsky.com. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Hope you have an amazing week. And today, I want to talk to you about one of the most controversial subjects in social media recruiting. And that's, do you build rapport or do you go for numbers? Stay tuned and find out my take on it. So, today's topic is going to be a doozy. And I recently saw a training in Rank Makers, which is social media, or actually it's a network marketing group that was created by Ray Higdon. And it's an amazing group, and I strongly urge anyone and everyone who's in network marketing to join. And the content that is taught there is priceless. So one of the topics that we recently discussed was, when you're recruiting on social media, do you build rapport and do you concentrate on building rapport, or do you go for numbers and talk to as many people as possible? So before I do the training, let me preface it by saying that no matter which way you train, you're going to succeed. And there have been people of massive success in both categories. Those that build rapport and those that go for the numbers. So let me explain to you the difference. So usually when building rapport, people, when they reach out to someone new who they don't know yet, and they start asking a bunch of different questions to build rapport. So this way they can build like and trust in that new prospect. Now we're talking about cold market prospecting on social media at the moment. And so typically it goes like this. So you ask someone how they're doing, how their family, talk about their dog or their kids or the pictures of their kids, whatever they're posting on social media, to strike up a conversation. During this conversation, you're trying to see what need they have and whether what you have will fill their need. Now, one of the positives of this approach is that it works for people who have charisma. For people who are very good at talking to other people, for people who are good at building relationships, for people who are outgoing. And when they're having this conversation, it flows naturally to them. Another good thing is that you're getting to the bottom of what that person really wants, and you get to see if your product or service fills their need. Now, one of the downsides to this approach is the fact that it can go on forever. And a lot of people don't know when to switch the conversation from building rapport to asking them about your opportunity or presenting your opportunity to them. And unfortunately, another drawback of this is, so let's say you have a conversation and it goes on for an X amount of time. And at some point you ask them, hey, would you at all be open to checking out the opportunity, blah, 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 whatever the phrase you use. And they say, hey, wait a minute, did you reach out to me and ask me all those questions about my family and everything else just so you can throw your opportunity at me? And then the conversation gets awkward. Now again, I want to say that there is a lot of people, super successful people, who have approached the social media recruiting using the building of rapport. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there are some drawbacks. So if you're not enthusiastic, then this approach may not work for you. Also, another thing about this approach is the fact that you don't know when to move on from having a conversation about rapport to the conversation about your opportunity. So there's no set way. You have to gauge based on the conversation that you're having. So let's talk about the other side, for the lack of a better phrase, going for numbers. Now, I'm not saying you should reach out to people on social media and just start asking them right away, are they open to an opportunity? No, I'm not saying that at all. There's a bunch of different introductions to a conversation you can make, such as asking them, hey, how's it going? I haven't spoken with you in a long time and I would love to catch up with you. But the reason why I'm reaching out to you is blah, 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 blah. what this does is it saves the prospect some time. So for example, they don't have to sit there and think, why is he reaching out to me? I haven't spoken to him in years. And all of a sudden he's reaching out to me asking me how my family is. Another upside of this approach is the fact that if you're hitting numbers, then you can count it as going for no, for example. And the more you go for no, the more yeses you're going to get. It's also more specific. It's not a long, drawn-out process. Yes, you may leave some good people out of the conversation if they get turned off by you being direct. But at the same time, you may also get people who appreciate your directness. And again, there's tons of people who are successful in both approaches. So I'm not saying one is better than the other. You just have to find out what fits your characteristic more. So for example, I prefer the second approach, the more to get to the point approach. I do get a lot of people reaching out to me and asking me how my family is, how's everything going, and things of that nature. And the way my personality is that I'm sitting there and thinking, get to the point, what are you trying to offer me? So, and again, not everybody's like that. A lot of people are not going to be like that. So you have to be cognizant of how you're approaching different people. But for me, the more direct approach works better. I can reach out to more people this way, quicker, and I can hit my numbers, as opposed to having a long drawn-out conversation. And the second one is more duplicatable. Arguably, it's more duplicatable. Simply because there are a lot more people who are not as enthusiastic or don't know how to speak with people as well as you may. So that is my take on this controversial topic. If you guys want to learn how to prospect well on social media, I highly recommend you go to www.rayhigdon.com/Jess webinar. I'm going to drop that link in the comments below. That's a training on social media by Jessica Higdon. It's an amazing webinar. She put together an amazing course as well, and that's where I learned most of my social media recruiting from. And I really urge you guys to pick up a copy and implement it. That's the most important part, implementation. Because just buying a course is not going to get you anywhere. Implement it, go out there and start recruiting on social media, whichever way you use. Whether you build rapport or you go more for numbers, you will find, maybe even it's a mix of both. You will find whatever works best for you. I hope you guys found this useful. Please like, comment, and share. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are recruiting on social media or are afraid to recruit on social media because they don't know which way to approach it. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.